Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So what we're talking about today is why women lie about their body count. Now, I got a clip here for you. It's got cursing in it. She's cursing, okay? So it's not that long at all. It's less than a minute, but please be aware of the language in this clip, and then we're going to actually break down why women like to lie about their body count. So without further ado, let me go ahead and here we go.
Step one. Stop asking us kitty shit like, how many niggas we fuck? Don't matter. Either way, the number is 4. Okay? That's the rules. And bitch, don't be counting no unnecessary ass niggas. Don't count the niggas you had before 21. Don't count niggas that you fuck for money. That was a job. Don't count niggas that had the same name. Like, if you had 2 Davids, there's only one person. All right? That equal to 1. The only motherfuckers you gotta count is your baby daddies. So don't equal up. Add in a wild factor or something. Either way it go, bitch, the number is 4. Round up or down. 4.
Step one.
Okay. So let's break it down, okay? Because she had a whole thing laid out that the number's 4 and who you don't got to count and who you do got to count and all of that other type of stuff. Why do women lie about the body count? If women are liberated, if having sex with a bunch of men empowers women and they can't be slut shamed and men don't have anything to say about it and they don't have to listen to men or they don't have to care what men want or don't want, if that were actually true, then no woman would lie about her body count at all, because it would be like, what for? You know what I mean? Like, why lie? What are you gonna do about it? If the number's quote unquote high, what are you gonna do? Okay. But women actually know what men are gonna do. See, no matter what feminist idea or sexually liberated idea or whatever is portrayed or whatever the women say, or no matter how they thirst trap, or no matter how far into thought culture they are, no matter how far into proxy prostitution, straight out prostitution, virtual prostitution, whatever the case may be, no matter how far they are into that, all women intrinsically understand that a part of her value as a woman, as a man, understand it, and period, point blank, is a sexual market value. We know that. This is why we got a whole chart about sexual market value specifically. Okay? And she knows that a higher body count automatically equals a lower sexual market value. Men are gonna look at you a certain way if you have too many sexual partners. And too many can be subjective. It almost always is, okay? But what you do know, if you don't know a particular number, or if no particular number has ever been set, you know, as a woman, no matter how much we in 2022 and thought culture been going on and blah, 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 we know that men don't want you to say something like you've been with 20 dudes or you've been with 15 dudes. or you've been with 30 dudes, or you've been with, you know what I mean? You know men don't want to hear that. You know men don't want to hear that number, whether it's a true number, false number, a number you just round into, whatever the case may be. This is why the young lady on that video said 4, because 4 is a relatively safe number. Men nowadays don't necessarily expect you to be a virgin, you know, in your 20s and 30s, especially if you got a kid. Obviously, you not. But if you can keep the number into low single digits, most guys, they not gonna blink too much about that. You know what I mean? Especially depending on your age. They not gonna too much deal and be looking at you real crazy, especially given that we live here in America and the sexual freedom and the sexual liberation. Now, see, 4 gonna get you looking crazy in the Middle East. You see what I'm saying? Or very much more conservative cultures. That number's still ridiculous. You understand what I mean? Because the number should be 1. You understand? Or none. Unless you married with kids, and obviously, you know what I mean? So because we live in America, that number was, to her understanding, was a safe number. Okay? Relatively speaking. Like I said, most guys, you know, if you 33 and the guy you with is 40, and you say, man, I've been with 4 dudes my whole life, in this climate, he not gonna be like, you've been with 4 dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, but here's the thing. The other reason, side note, that a lot of women lie about the number is she don't know that number. I'm just the messenger. A lot of times when women lie about that number, it's because she don't know the number either. She been with too many and she forgetting who she been with. She don't know his name. It was X amount of years ago. You understand? So you asking her, that's why she be like, why you ask me that? Because now she got to figure it. And if on quick math, it's a stupid number, she gonna lie about it anyway. You understand what I mean? But see, even if she wanted to tell you the truth, she not gonna be able to because she forgot. She forgot. Okay. Now, here's why body count is important and why a lot of 304s don't like that question. Because not only do we understand intrinsically as women that men view us, they lower us or raise us in value depending upon their perception of who we are sexually, in terms of how many sex partners have we had versus how many relationships have we had. Because the reason why sex partners and relationships is a different question, okay, is because one of them represents the level of transaction you've been dealing in, and the other one represents the level of love you've been dealing in. Okay? So if you tell a guy, I've been with 6 dudes, whatever, but one of them or 2 of them relationships was years spanned. You know what I mean? So it wasn't even like bam, bam, bam. I took a long time with 1 guy or 2 guys or 3 of them guys. You know, that these were long relationships that I was in. That has a little bit leeway to it, especially if there was a marriage rather than just like a hookup or whatever. And the reason why there's a little bit of a distinction there is because 6 transactions is much worse than 2 or 3. Because if you are in a practice of transactional sex, that is where he understands you to be a whore. He gonna make that assumption no matter what you say. You understand? This is why a lot of women get to lying about that number. You're not confident, because for as much as feminism told you that you ought to be confident about whatever the number is, and you should be sexually free, and ain't nothing wrong with it, and blah, 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 we know intrinsically as females, as women, that transaction right there, that's no good. And we know men know it's not no good. This is why, if you take a closer look at the chart, over on what would be your right-hand side, you've got a pink arrow going from the bottom to the top. And it say, can a woman go from here to here? Can she go from the transaction to the loving? In other words, can she go from being a hoe to a housewife? And this is why men say, no, she cannot. Because the more transactions that she has been involved in, the more she got involved with whole phases, twerking, hot girl summers, OnlyFans, selling sex, stock coaches, body counts, you know what I'm saying, and all this type of stuff. He know the more she did that, the less capable she is of actually making the emotional connection that would be necessary to make her wife material for him. Because you've been dealing so long in the transaction. Going back to the chart very quickly, not only is it transactional, you've been possibly dealing in humiliating sex. So you start lying about the body count because you don't want to get to explaining, you know, how this dude had you doing this thing and that dude had you doing that thing, and you don't feel good about it, and you don't even want to revisit it, the memory of it. So you certainly not gonna be telling nobody, well, yeah, I was with such and so guy, you know, and I was humiliated because I let him do XYZ act on me. And you know, that I'm still feeling like a piece of trash from that. You know, I still ain't recovered from that one. You know, so it's a lot of different factors that go into that lying about that body count. It's the lying about it, but it's also lying because women actually understand where her value is assessed based on what her sexual market value is. Because when we go to the full chart of the valuable woman, even though that SMV is the smaller circle, it's right before marriage market value. See, you can have decent everything else, and when that SMV pop up and it's crazy, you really done messed yourself up with that. You really done messed yourself up with that one. Because you've been out here transacting. You've been out here getting humiliated. Okay? And don't no man want to deal with that. And you know it. So you've been, but everybody, but the crazy part about it is, the older that you get, and then you say you ain't never been married and stuff like that, men automatically know. That's all you've been doing is the transaction. That's it. Which is what puts you in the whole category. Because see, a lot of men that put you in that category, he ain't mad that you know how to have sex. He's not mad that you sexual. He's not mad at your high sex drive. That all could be beneficial to him. But what he understands is that you're unable to make it beneficial for him, because that's what they mean by you're for the streets. See, all of these sayings, they sound quote unquote catchy or whatever, but the men have come up with them for a reason. When he say you're for the streets, that means you're not going to be able to contain yourself and content yourself with just me. No matter how extraordinary I am as a man, I could be breaking your back, paying your bills, you know what I'm saying, doing the 4 P's like ain't nobody never done them before. I'm providing, problem solving, protecting, procreating like you ain't never seen. But yet, your mentality is so transactional because that's what you've been doing for the last 15, 20 years. There's no way you're going to be able to content yourself with me and then create the emotional bond where you're going to go from transactional, humiliating, and criminal over to loving, purposeful, and satisfying, and then creating that spiritual connection. He know that already. That's why you lie about the body count. So stop playing like you don't know that men assess your value as a woman in totality based on your sexual market value to a good degree. To a good degree. It's not everything, because this would be everything. But it's not small either. It's not little. And women like to lie to themselves and say, oh, well, men are only asking that because they ego, or they, you know what I'm saying, or they feel some type of way, or they insecure. No, it's not insecurity about the other men that you've had. It speaks, your body count speaks more about who you are than who they are, than who the men that you've been with. It speaks more about you and how you see you and how you see your relation to men and how you see men in your life. That has more to do with you. Just letting you know. Anyway, before we cut out, I want to draw everybody's attention to the petition we have against Black Lives Matter. Let's get our next milestone, which is going to be 15,000 signatures. Once we are crossing these various signature milestones, this actually enables us to affect our 6-point plan to assist and support the Black communities all over the United States. And basically, we're going to do what Black Lives Matter Global Networking Foundation failed to do, which was actually help the Black community. So if you want to be a part of this initiative and you want to be a part of holding Black Lives Matter accountable, please go into the description box, hit the link for the petition, sign it, share it, and contribute to it. Also, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.